I remember that team I did in a previous video where I was using poison monsters with one-on-one. I had like so much fun with that team, even though it wasn't that good. I just like had to do it again. So I switched up a little bit here. You'll see throughout this video I speed up through like one-on-one shenanigans because it kind of takes a while. But I was like, okay, I really want to feature Pumpking because that's who kind of like made the last video what it was. He was sort of the star of the show, if you will. And so this team is like about him. And I used this one-on-one setup, and I used Freeze Cobra in the front line so the Pumpkin would enter poisoned. And then I would like Poison Massacre, and I kept switching up the front line. There were a lot of things I was changing, a lot of things that I was experimenting with. Like originally, I think I have a clip like this in this video where like I was using Ladai Faith, and I was like, I'm gonna Element Accelerate, I'm gonna use Yin Yang Substitute, which wouldn't really make sense now that I think about it, because then I would have just like, what's the word? I would have Poison Massacred the Yin Yang there, pulled off the Massacre, and he died. But like, the premise of this team was sleep, bring in Pumpkin poisoned, poison all the enemies, and Poison Massacre to kill everybody. That was the idea. It didn't always work out that way, and I think one of the things that I would have changed is take out Freeze Cobra and put another Sleep Immune monster in the front line, or like Missile Torment or something, because Pumpkin is going to poison himself anyway with the instant Poison Typhoon, which is what I was using anyway, because I'm not going to poison gas while people are sleeping, because that might wake them up. So I like need the Typhoon to guarantee that everybody gets poisoned. So, you know, it had some issues, and I had King in here to give turn to him after the Poison Massacre. You get the idea. In practice, it didn't really work that well, and of course, this front line I run into Shadow Worm, who immediately piercing kills my Onigeist, and Draco Rosa, who can immediately defang my two poison monsters, so that just like completely gets rid of everything I was trying to do. But I've got a decently charged Ian Rex, I've got a Charybdia now charged, I've got King here to give turn, I guess, except you'll see I can't give turn to Charybdia because of Bind, and I can't give turn to Eon Rex because of the team turn, because of Earthquake. Here I was like, oh, I'll just slash and then give turn, right? Because he's charged enough that slash is easily one-shotting. But this guy just gave up. So that's going to do it for this battle. Moving on to the next one. I'm pretty sure this is Coltraz. Coltraz, correct me if I'm wrong. So going into a Nyx front line, I'm like, great, let's see what I can do. Luckily, the sleep hits everybody except the one Sleep Immune monster. Like here, Ladai Faith, right? I would have Yin Yang substituted what's-her-face, Nyx, but I didn't. So instead, I take out Nyx and the Leoborg. Here, go for a Poison Eater. Luckily goes around, and I kill the Soral. Because at this point, I'm trying to think, okay, I've got about 100 seconds to take the stealth off of Lucifel and Carmilla, to get rid of Lucifel, and then Poison Massacre with Pumpkin. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to make that work. I don't want to go for a Devolve, because I guarantee the Cocky Drakes are going to block it. And if you didn't know, Devolve doesn't work on first four monsters. There I did the Poison Gas to take off the stealth. So now he, I don't know, isn't going to do much. He decides to skip past time, but I have Rockoids at the back, so I can sacrifice heal. We're getting to the point now where it's about time that they're going to wake up. So I go for, what do? I go for a knockback. I think I went for Lucifel. It didn't work. No, I did go for a Cocky Drake because I was going to double counter slash. Which I did. Here, I skip with the Charybdia, which honestly might not have been the best play. Because if the Sacralisk had died, I don't know. I think if the Sacralisk had died, then I would have gone with... Wait, no, because I've already used the twin knockback. Okay, never mind. So I go for the times up, kill the Sacralisk, go for the Rizu. This is like my first time really encountering a Rizu in a battle. So I didn't really know how to deal with her. Also, this was like my first match with this kind of... like I said, I'd been changing the team a bunch, so the end game was a little weak. But like, Scarlet Guard can't do anything. Saber Dragon can payback killer the Arachnid Diva, I guess. But need to do that. Rizu Tranquilizing Darts at Kekion, which is fine because I was going to say he can still kill Hazuki or Sukenchi before he goes to sleep, which he's able to do. I take out the Sukenchi. Because I know Hazuki's poisoned. What's she really going to do? She can, like, Beast, whatever that thing is called, the Scarlet Guard, or go for the Slayer Break on Saber Dragon, which, looking back, was probably the right play because now I can't shock to wake up a Kekion. Boxjaw just detonates himself. So now my big thing that I've got going for me here is Vixian. And the mistake I made was soul missiling Hazuki there. If I had gone for the Rizu, I might have won. Which spoils the fact that I lost. This was way closer than I was for this team against this team. This was way closer than I was expecting it to be. However, I maybe still had a chance if this Vixian had killed the Rizu instead. Because I forgot that she had Vanquish when I was doing this. Because like I said, I'd never really run into her. But yeah, he cleans up my monsters here. It was close. If, mistakes are mistakes. Things could have been different in any game. But moving on to this final match. No, this is not the final match. This is just another match. So I lose again. I lose the Onigeist there. Scarlet Guard can, of course, kill Pumpking or freeze Kobe. He goes for the Pumpking and then kills my Firiel. I think I've noticed Arbustodon sometimes doesn't kill Firiel with Maneater. Maybe I'm crazy, but sometimes that doesn't kill. Kind of like there. Sometimes Toxic Killer kills Charybdis. Sometimes it doesn't. I was going to Salvation there, but he just gave up. That finishes up this match. And this final one, this was recorded last night. This video is going to be up kind of out of order, but when this was recorded, Kaiser, this was recorded the day Kaiser came out. This was the night he came out that morning. So this is my first match against him. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it more in a future video. So I'm not going to say much about him, and I'm just going to talk about the gameplay, but look out for this guy is what I'll say. He was smart, and by leaving the Elfin Dragons awake, he could pull them back so that they enter poisoned. Now, he could not really do anything, or maybe he just doesn't want to bring in a Kaiser, or bring in the Gull. I'm not sure why he didn't do a pullback. Maybe he can't. Oh, he can't, because it's a Fairyling fight, not an Elfin Dragon. So there I kill the Prixis, because I'm not sure why. Because, I can't kill Kaiser. He does a Switch Friend. And now I'm thinking, okay, great. I can't target Kaiser, but maybe I can kill him with this Poison Massacre, which did not kill him. Even without the healing entrance, I don't think he would have survived, because even though Pumpkin has the piercing, only 3 monsters were poisoned. It was close. It was my best hope, really, because otherwise there's nothing I can do to kill Kaiser. He goes for the stun wave, because Griff King obviously isn't loaded, so he's not a threat. Everybody else is stun immune, or stun weak, I guess is the way to say that. Now Kaiser, he's pulling back whatever and whatever. He does a switcheroo there so that Lila can get straight to the stealth sneak shot is what it's called. Then Angel Lion, Soul Snatch, heckin' whatever, you know what I'm saying, for the Charybdis. Now Kaiser again can do whatever he wants. Might go for the switcheroo on Gron, might do, or just skip. Okay. Charybdis could Venom times up, which he goes for, does kill the Firiel, does not kill the HP boosted Missile Torment. Gron could catapult, but he doesn't. He goes with Blood Fury on Missile Torment, which is fine. Gull, Corner Snipes the Doomgoo, unfortunate for me. Griff King's about to get a turn, so he reinforces the Gull, and maybe... No, just tries to get Gull in faster. But instead switcheroos the Lila, who sneak shots the Onigeist. Don't know why he did that. Onigeist isn't really doing anything. I give turn to the Maple Dragon so I can stun Charybdis, and then Crabriel so I can eat the Maple Dragon. And now Vixian enters. And Vixian, or Gravity Field in general, really shuts down Elfin Dragons. That's something that's been known. However, Kaiser set up that way so he has Remover, right? Which will, kill anybody with Gravity Field so that the Elfin Dragons can keep doing their thing. Gull doesn't have a target, and Lila isn't stealthed. I can't kill Kaiser. Charybdis I'm not worried about. So right now, I killed off the Griff King and started doing a bunch of unwanted morphs, because I'm thinking my only way to win this right now is a bunch of Soul Missiles, and that's about it. Because if I start catapulting, like 130 seconds, that's not going to cut it. So Soul Missile first, who was that, Gron? Now Kaiser, he's already used Switcheroo twice, and he can't reinforce. So he's only going for the only thing he can do is Remover, which he's trying to hit on Vixian. I've got the Shield Dragon protecting, and I've got Apollonus, and I've got a bunch of Bronze Shells at the back. So there I kill the Charybdia. Apollonus here, I see he's got the Sacralisk. I pass a little bit of time and go for the Dumble Counter Slash. He brings in a Missile Torment and a Sacralisk. Scary, and I see he's got that Cynthia next in line. I decide to charge because, like I said, Kaiser and Gull can't do anything. So I charge one more time, thinking that Shield Dragon's been charged a lot, Soul Missile the Missile Torment, and hoping that Focused Energy Burst will kill the Sacralisk. There you'll see, like I said, if I had been catapulting, like, there's no way I would have gotten a turn before Charybdia or Vixen Blade. But because I was doing the Soul Missiles, which there I luckily just had enough to do one more Soul Missile, I kill off his Vixen Blade. Cynthia could double Retribution, but she's fighting into 3 Earth Monsters. So we'll see if he decides to go for that. He does. Just barely doesn't kill the Vixian. I think Gull Chrono Killers. So I lose the Vixian. But all he's got is that 1 Bronze Shell left and these guys. So I went for the Deer Smash because I knew I was going to get a turn back before Cynthia. And Death Gazer and Kaiser, what are they going to do? Ultra Thunder or like Poison Touch? Yeah, exactly. So now I've got a Last Bite Apollonus into his last couple monsters who can't kill me. He goes for the Bloodthirst. I think if he had Swift Backbite, it would have been over because he would have backbitten the Rockoid. There still would have been a Rockoid there. And I guess it would have been up to chance, right? Whether or not I went around the Rockoid to final bite the Death Gazer. But that was a match that really showcases the power of Elf and Dragon Kaiser because that was scary. And this is a clip I was just like, I had a while back. This was a team that I never made a video of, or I was just having fun. But Firiel devolved my Vixian, and I was like, shoot, he's got a Wave Tail. My Vixian's totally useless, right? But the thing about Firiel is you have to be careful with who you devolve, because they might have a skill that's useful. Like here, Throw. Or like, for example, what I learned earlier, Angel Lion, first form, has Retribution. It's not enough to like one-shot, but, it's a couple thousand damage. Just keep that in mind. Vixian, however, since she is a mythic, like Throw is doing enough damage. So I just threw this clip in here because I wasn't sure where else I was going to use it. But, with Firiel, you got to be careful who you devolve. With Vixian, you got to be careful because she's kind of good sometimes. There he transient bashes the Inugard, so I can't do any of my duo skills. But I can detonate now that his Wave Tail's gone. And I, having killed a couple people with Vixian, I think he finally decides, okay, I need to kill that first form, which is unfortunate for him, lucky for me. Skipped ahead in the battle eventually. He just gave up. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, the one-on-one poison. Pumpking, super cool. I still might try to use him more. I think he's really fun. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.